Hello and welcome to the tutorial on how to create a simple chatbot in Python. So today we'll be focusing on building a chatbot that can help you prepare for the Python programming interviews. So here is what we'll do today. We'll first set up the development environment, and then we'll be writing the Python code for the chatbot. And then finally, we'll test our chatbot with some sample questions, right? So first thing first, make sure that you have Python installed on your computer. You can download it from python.org. Once you have got the Python, you are ready to start the coding. By the way, here I'm using Google Colab. You can use Google Colab also, right? So let's jump into the coding part. So you can open your favorite code editor, like PyCharm, VS Code, or it can be even a simple text editor, or it can be Jupyter Notebook, or it can be Colab, right? So let's start writing the code. So we'll be starting by defining the main function, which is the chatbot function. So this function will be responsible for managing the conversation with the user, right? So let me write that function, main function, chatbot function. So define is used to write a function, chatbot, right? So this is a function. Then we'll print a message to the user here. As soon as this function executes, we'll print a greeting message. It's kind of greeting to the user, right? So print. So Python interview view prep bot, right? So and then we'll write. We'll ask the user ask a Python question or type, let's say, by to exit. So that's the message which will be displayed to the user. We are asking the user enter the question which the bot can answer, or type by so that you can exit from this. Okay. Then the bot will go in infinite loop waiting for the user to enter the question, and the bot will answer the question, and again bot will wait for the user till the user writes or types by, right? So we are going in a infinite loop while true. So this will take us in the infinite loop while true. User input, we are going to take user input in this variable. User input is the name of the variable, right? So by using input command or input function, we can take the input here. So that means user, u means user here, right? And then this will take the input, right? So that input will clean the input by removing the white spaces which may be trailing, or which may be there. So we need to strip those white spaces, and then we will convert the input into lowercase, right? The input is converted into the lowercase, right? So that just to avoid the lower and uppercase issue, we'll be converting the input into lowercase because we are going to store the questions and answers in the lowercase format, right? So that's the user input we have taken here, user input, right? And process that input. So then we'll ask if right, if the input is by, if by, right, if by in user input contains by, right? Then what we will do, we'll exit, print, we'll print a message and exit, right? We'll print chatbot. That means chatbot is writing this, right? We'll we'll print this message, chatbot saying goodbye, right? Goodbye, keep practicing, right? Okay. And then we'll break this loop, infinite loop will break, right? And then if this is not by, if by is not there in the user, then what we'll do, we'll else we'll calculate, we'll write the response to the question, right? We'll write the response to the question, right? So response, we'll get the response from the function, another function. Response is equal to, this is the response, is the variable which will store the response, which we'll get from another function called as get response, right? And to this get response, we'll pass user input as the parameter. This user input which we have stored here, which is a question of the user, right? That we are passing to this get response function, and this get response function will generate the response for this question, right? And that response will be written here, and we'll store that response or answer to the question in this response variable, right? And after that, we'll say print f chatbot. That means, this means, I'm writing this means it is like chatbot is responding, right? So chatbot will respond with response, right? Okay. So that's the chatbot function. So let me execute it. So let us wait, the code is getting executed. Yeah, it's executed. Now we'll define this get response function. This get response function we'll define here. So get response, define a get response. To this get response, we are passing user input. So here we'll need a parameter user input, right? So now here what we are going to do, we are going to create a dictionary of some sample Python interview questions and answer, right? So we'll be storing the questions and answer in the dictionary, right? So we'll call this dictionary as Q&A is equal to, that is how we'll create dictionary. So let's say we'll store few questions here. The first question is, what is a list in Python, right? So this is the question which is stored as key of the dictionary, right? The dictionary is in the form of key and values, right? So this key is question and the value is the answer, right? So we'll write the answer of this question as, a list in the Python, a list in Python is an ordered collection of items which can be of any type, right? So that's what list is, right? So that's the answer to the question. That means if the user asks this question, we'll give this answer, our chatbot will give this answer to a user's question, right? Let's say the second question is difference, D-I-F-F-E-R-E-N-C, difference between list and tuple. That's the second question. If user asks, we are storing it as a key, right? So, right, and the answer will be stored as the value. So what is the difference between a list and tuple? That's the question. So the simple answer is, lists are mutable, while tuples are immutable. Okay, that's the answer. chatbot will give if the user asks this question. Let's have the third question. So the third question is, let's say, explain explain, let's say, inheritance in Python. So that question is asked. If that question is asked by the user, so the bot will give the answer that inheritance is like uh, inheritance allows us to define a class that inherits all the methods and all the methods and the properties of the parent class, let's say, of the properties of the parent class or properties from another class, which is typically called as a parent class, right? So that's the third question. So just for example, we'll have only these three questions, right? The last question, last key value pair, will not put a comma here. So let me show you clearly. So this is the dictionary we created, which is storing it's kind of a database, right? From in the database, we have stored questions and answers, right? So the user's question will be matched with the questions present in this database or dictionary. And if the question is present in this dictionary, the answer will be given, right? If the question is not present, we'll write the default answer that I don't know, or I'm not sure what you're asking, right? So let's write that. So, for question in Q&A, now we are going to iterate through this Q&A. We are going to go through this Q&A, checking or matching this user input with these questions one by one, right? So for question in Q&A dot key, right? So we are going to match this question with this key. This is the key of Q&A, right? Q&A is a dictionary. So this is the key of this Q&A. So for question in Q&A dot key, so this is same. Okay. So if question in user input, meaning that if the question is if this question, we are going to iterate through this question, and if this question is present as the part of this user input, that means if this question is the substring of this user input, right? That means this question is matching very much with this user input, right? If it is so, then we'll return this answer of this question as the response. We'll return Q&A of question, right? And that means this will return us the value, right? So Q&A of question. So Q&A of, if question is this question, so Q&A of this will give us this value, that is the answer of this question, right? So we'll return this, right? And then if that means if after iterating through this dictionary, we are not able to find the question in the dictionary, we will return the string saying that I am not sure about what you asked, or the question. I'm not sure about it. So could you please ask another question, right? So that's what I will return, right? Okay, so that's the get response function. What we are doing in get response function, we are taking user input, which is the question asked by the user to the chatbot, and this question will be matched with this dictionary key of the dictionary, right? So key of the dictionary are the questions stored in this dictionary. If the question by the user matches with this, will return the uh, answer, which is the value of this key, right? Return this, right? If the user question does not match with any of this, we'll return this string saying that I'm not sure about it. Could you please ask another question, right? So that's the get response function. Okay, yeah, we got it, right? So now finally let's add the main block to run our chatbot, right? Let's add our main block here. So if name, that's how you add the main block, equal to let's say main underscore main, then we have a colon here, and then we will call the chatbot function, right? From main, right? This is where the code start running. This is where the Python code start. Python code will first, when I execute this code, a chatbot function will be called. This chatbot function will be called. So this function will be executed, and where we will be asked a question. Right, user will be asked a question. Chatbot will ask a question to the user, and then the chatbot function will call this response function, get response function, right? And get response function will return the answer, and that answer will be displayed as the response to the user's question or answer to the user's question. So let us execute this. Yeah. So we have, you see, we are in infinite loop, right? This message is printed, chatbot, right? So this message is printed. It's like a greeting to the user, right? And then here you are asked, the bot is waiting for you to ask a question here, right? So let me ask a question which is there in the data set, right? Or in the dictionary. What is a list in Python, right? So what is a list in Python? See, I'm writing some letters as capital, but all those will be converted to lower by this lower, right? So what is a list in Python? So if I ask this, so we are getting a error here. Dict object has no attribute key. So let me see. Q&A dot key. Oh, sorry, this should be, I guess, keys. Q&A dot keys. Yeah. Q&A dot keys. Yeah, I'll re-execute this. Okay, so what is a list in Python? Okay, again, you see, we asked this question, chatbot answered. A list in Python is an ordered collection of items which can be of any type, right? Again, we are going in infinite loop, right? Because of this while, right? This while is keeping us in infinite loop, right? Again, now I'll ask second question. How are you? Right? Now you see what? I'm not sure about it. Could you please ask another question? You see, I asked a question which is not there in this list, right? Which is not there in this dictionary, right? So we got this default answer, right? And now I say bye. When I say bye, yeah, chat, we have executed. We have exited. Chatbot is saying goodbye. Keep practicing, right? So that's a very simple chatbot. That's how you can. You can notice how the chatbot is responding to the questions based on the predefined questions and answer pairs, right? And if you ask something which is not in its a dictionary or knowledge base, so it will say you please ask some another question, right? And yes, we have done it. We have prepared our very own Python interview preparation chatbot, right? Now this is a very simple chatbot, this is a beginner level chatbot, right? You can make it very sophisticated. You can expand its capabilities and make it more advanced with features like natural language processing, or integration with the other learning resources, right? So you can make it very advanced by using the advanced machine learning natural language processing capabilities, right? And then you can deploy it by using on the web, or you can create an app for it, right? So I hope you liked the tutorial for creating the Python interview preparation chatbot. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you.